Well, it is exactly at the top of the hour. Welcome to KBC's Lunchtime News. We do have a lot in store for you in the next 1 hour or so. So stick around. My name is Abdiaziz Hashim. My co-anchor is Byron Abuli. And of course, we start on that particular note here, especially in the capital, where President William Ruto has called on the diaspora community to enhance their contribution to the development of the nation by fostering partnership and seizing opportunities abroad. President Ruto, who spoke during the Diaspora Investment Conference 2023 in Nairobi, hailed Kenyans in the diaspora for their contribution to the growth of the economy, even as he pledged to engage foreign nations to create more opportunities for Kenyans in the diaspora.
I encourage you to leave this conference with a strong resolve to do more and earn more from the opportunities that continue to unfold as we undertake the bottom-up transformation of our economy. Let us embark on this journey to build a nation that thrives on the collective efforts of its people, both at home and abroad. We are keen to work with you to harness your networks in order to channel more investments to Kenya and create opportunities to move this country forward. I wish you, good people, all the best as you engage us. And there are many agencies of government. There are many departments of government that will be having this conversation with you. The ministry has mobilized different actors in our economy so that they can directly answer some of your questions. They can directly canvass their positions with you so that you instead will be their agents wherever you are, because Kenya is the collective project of all of us. Whatever it is,
And now to an unfortunate incident where the family of a 3-year-old boy is crying for justice following the death of their son who was electrocuted in Nairobi's Kayole estate. Leon Maingi was playing with other children in their compound when he was electrocuted by an illuminated cable hanging on the balcony. His aunt Brenda says they took him to a nearby hospital, but she was referred to Mama Lucy Hospital where the boy was pronounced dead. The body is now lying at the Mama Lucy Hospital mortuary awaiting postmortem as the matter is being handled by the Department of Criminal Investigations from Jiro Sub-County.
Uchungu iko ni mingi sana. Sasa tungeomba tu venye tunaweza saidiwa tu mtoto apate haki. Juu ni stima tu iko hivyo kwa plot iko haijafunikwa iko pale kwa corridor. Sasa watu wakicheza tu mtoto akakanyanga hiyo waya.
Quite unfortunate, and of course it's heart-wrenching. Let's hope the family will get the justice they need. Elsewhere, there was drama at Naivasha GK prison after prison warders clashed with officers from Nakuru County government who were opening an access road linking Naivasha town to Kinangop. Several county officials were arrested but later released after the intervention from the county. The county officials say the access road, which was closed in 2019, has for years been an inconvenience, and its reopening is necessary to ease transport for locals.
This access road was closed in 2019 by GK Prison under unclear circumstances. The county government of Nakuru has however embarked on its reopening, which went on smoothly until the Naivasha GK prison warders showed up to block the exercise. Prior to this, there was an access road passing through the prison, but for security reasons it was closed. Opening this new road now causing disagreements between the prison and county officials.
Wakati contractor alikuwa katika harakati zake za kumalizia kazi, na kazi amefanya almost 80%, asilimia 80, jera wakakuja wakasema hawakupewa authority ya tujenge that bridge. Na singekubali tu kuja kuwekwa pingu hivi. Hapana, lazima tungeambiana mawili matatu.
The county officials who were arrested will later be released, insisting that they will not be intimidated into abandoning the construction of the access road.
Kwa nini tena wakuje waseme hii barabara mahali walipropose tupitie, wanasema tena tusikuje kupitia hapo?
Hii barabara itapitiwa hapa, hakuna mtu anafungwa hapa, hakuna jela iko hapa, jela iko huko ndani. Hii ni barabara, watu wafungwe huko, nayo barabara ipitiwe na wananchi,
kwa sababu hakuna sheria yoyote ya watu kutoka prison kukuja kushika mheshimiwa akifanya kazi yake. So hilo waambiwe wakome, na kama wanataka kushika wakuje washike sisi zote, wamale watujaze huko, lakini wapende wasipende barabara tutatumia na tutafungua.
They now want to reach an amicable solution which will benefit both parties and cushion residents from having to travel long distances. Yusufar reporting for Lunchtime News.
Elsewhere, 3 women have been admitted at the Fort Tenant Sub-County Hospital in Kericho County after undergoing a botched circumcision. This comes following a recent rise in cases of female genital mutilation in the region. Elsewhere, in Machakos County continues to record a high number of suicide cases despite numerous interventions from the authorities.
The continued challenge in eliminating female genital mutilation was revisited during Tuesday's Jamhuri Day celebrations at Fort Kipkelion, West Sub-County. Kericho Governor Eric Mutai expressing concerns over the continued practice despite its ban, pledged to eliminate the vice even as he warned those found culpable of dire consequences.
Anybody found engaging in FGM shall face the full wrath of the law. This is something which is unconstitutional. It is unacceptable that in 21st century we are still circumcising, and to make it worse, these are not small girls being circumcised. These are women living in their houses.
Meanwhile, in Machakos County during the festivities, it emerged the county was grappling with a high number of suicide cases despite numerous interventions by government officials. Speaking in Guinea area, Kathiani Deputy County Commissioner Mary Wamboe noted this year alone 16 cases of suicide were reported in the region.
Ninajua uchumi ni mbaya. Na kila mtu ameafektiwa na uchumi, uwe juu uwe chini. Na hiyo sio sababu ya kujitoa uhai.
Cases of gender-based violence have, however, subsided in the area, with the DCC attributing them to the regional authorities and local cooperation. Finally, Makueni County Governor Mutula Kilonzo Jr., in his Jamhuri Day speech, urged the national government to address the plight of freedom fighters and assist them access medical care.
We forget some of these heroes, like the people who fought for independence, and it is wrong. I think in celebrating 60 years of independence, hatufai kuwa na watu wanasema hawajaiangaliwa, hawajawahi shughulikiwa. They should be getting free treatment, free transport, where people are recognized outside this country.
Kasi Chanamasha, Lunchtime News.
Still on the same, gender activists are calling for political commitment in a bid to eradicate gender-based violence in the country. The stakeholders emphasize the need for the elected leaders to take the lead role in combating teenage pregnancies and early marriages. Speaking during a Thanksgiving ceremony in Awendo, Migori County, activists attributed the gender-based violence to cultural practices and poverty. Although gender-based violence affects more women than men, the male gender has been urged to report instances of violence so as to reduce suicide related to the vice. The activists are further calling on the elected leaders to have a political commitment in combating this menace.
We were just wanting to advocate for men to reduce the rate of suicide because of the depression that men are undergoing, because they are keeping quiet on the issues that they are facing.
I want to take you to take a leading role in making sure that our children, particularly the girls, get what is called quality education. Madam Deputy Governor, I want to come to Korea specifically that we handle the issue of early marriages.
Let's head over to the coastal city where residents of Mikindani in Jomvu constituency, Mombasa County, are said to benefit from a new market in the area courtesy of the African Development Bank in collaboration with the Kenya National Highways Authority. Speaking during an impromptu visit to inspect the progress of the market, which is a corporate social responsibility project of the Mombasa-Mariakani Highway project constructed by China's City Construction Group company in Jomvu, MP Badi Twalib noted that the market will accommodate at least 100 traders to create job opportunities and provide a special feeding room tailored to lactating mothers. Now the project will be handed over to the county government of Mombasa once completed in January.
Mradi huu utaweza kusaidia watu wangu kwa sababu kuanzia wakati wa nyuma wakitaka kwenda soko mpaka waende Kongowea, na hapa ndani Mikindani kuna soko nyingine ya county lakini ni ndogo. Kwa hivyo soko hii itaweza pia kufungua katika kuona kuwa eneo letu watu hawana haja ya kwenda mbali katika kutafuta vitu vya soko. Pili, itaboresha biashara. Hapa patafungua watu ambao wataweza kufanya biashara zao. Tatu, vile vile kutakuwa na interactions za watu katika aina mbalimbali ambapo watakuwa wakiweza kufanya connection ya biashara zao. Vile vile tunataka tuseme mradi huu kwa sasa ni wa 50 million, lakini will push more katika central government through the ministry kuona kuwa tuweze kuongezewa pesa zaidi.
Elsewhere, a section of public service transport operators are urging road users to exercise caution while using the road as the festive season begins. The operators are mobilizing their colleagues within the sector to observe stipulated speed limits while driving on public roads. This follows statistics from the National Transport and Safety Authority (NTSA), which shows a decrease in the number of road accident-related deaths in October by 8.9% compared to a similar period last year. Drivers were also urged to avoid drinking and driving as Kenyans are expected to travel upcountry for the festive celebrations. This comes amid calls to put in place stringent measures to handle cases of careless driving, often responsible for traffic-related deaths.
When you are on the road, overlapping is a crime, and we have continued to remind them that they should maintain the safety by not overlapping, because overlapping causes a lot of accidents, and we are witnesses to that. And even today, part of our talk, I have reminded them that they should maintain safety on the road by not overlapping. And also something else that we have talked to them is the issue of overspeeding, because overlapping and overspeeding, they are the major causes of accidents on our roads.
A tree planting champion is Madogo. Turana County is now calling on the county and the national government to help him with resources to protect planted trees from free-roaming livestock in the area. Elijah Masharia, who is a person with disabilities, says he has planted over 700 trees as a way of participating in the government's effort to combat climate change. Bradley Agutu reports.
Masharia, who heeds to President William Ruto's call to plant more trees, says lack of water in Madogo has been a challenge, especially in sustaining tree nurseries.
Baada ya kukosa maji, miti yangu mingi ilikauka. Na kama unavyoona hapa kwangu, niko na miti mingine mikubwa sana na mingine midogo. Miti mingine nilipanda 2013, ukiangalia utafikiria ni wakati iko na mwaka mmoja, kwa sababu nimesumbuliwa punda, ng'ombe, buzi na ngamia ndio zaidi sababu inakula hata ile mrefu.
He also called on the government to support him with seeds and seedlings since he only has a few, which he also shares with the public at a free cost.
Sasa ni jukumu lako wewe, ni jukumu langu. Panda mti mmoja au miwili. Mimi ni kiwete. Lakini kupanda miti haina kiwete, haina mtu ambaye si kiwete, kila mtu anaweza panda miti.
Elsewhere in Kaseveni Matungulu constituency in Machakos County, Baraka Hawali School has partnered with the community through an initiative dubbed Vanda Muti, meaning adopt a tree, as efforts to restore the forest cover in the area.
Among the trees that they will be planting will be fruit trees. Already in the school, we have planted passion fruits along the fence. We look forward to in future holding this as an annual event.
The area chief Thomas Mutua warned that charcoal burning in the area will not be tolerated.
Ndio maana saa hii tumeanza upanzi wa miti ndio hii area irudi vile ilikuwa.
Bradley Agutu for Lunchtime News.
And in other news, the national government administration officers and members of the Embu County in Diea sub-county, Kambu County, have urged the government to ban the sale of donkey skin, saying it is driving illegal slaughter of donkeys. Diea Deputy County Commissioner, that is James Wambua, noted that the international donkey skin market have put the animals at risk, however, saying those conducting the trade illegally will be dealt with in accordance with the law.
Kwa wananchi, sijui kama mnajua kwamba kile ambacho wao wanafanya biashara ya kuchinja punda wanafuata kwa karibu sana ni mambo ya kuuza ngozi, ambao kwa soko international market hiyo ngozi inawapea pesa nyingi sana.
The government must be vigilant now that those people that have been caught with this incident, they must be taken seriously within the court of law. And if they are found guilty, to be jailed. And then the market, when these skins and the byproduct of this market of the donkeys, to be closed within the immediate effect.
Elsewhere, at least 376,000 Embu County residents have borrowed 750 million Kenya shillings from the Hustler Fund. According to the County Commissioner, that is Jacob Boer, said 78% of borrowers were repaying the microloans regularly and urged more residents to take advantage of the fund. He said another opportunity for business loans existed with the Kenya Industrial Estates, where group members could access loans of between 200,000 Kenya shillings and 20 million. The Commissioner was speaking at the Siakago Stadium in Beren North when he presided over this year's Jamhuri Day celebrations.
Now 376 wale watu wamechukua loan kutoka Hustler Fund. Hiyo ni as per Friday. Wengine today, Tuesday imeongezeka. Na watu walikuwa wamechukua loan ya shilingi 750 milioni 750 ile ilichukuliwa na watu wa Embu, na ile repayment percentage ya Embu ni 78%. Inamaanisha kwamba wale watu 100 wamechukua deni, loan ya Hustler Fund, watu 78 wanalipa kwa ile kiwango na ile muda inastakikana.
Thank you. Asante wewe.
Eighteen minutes past the hour. That marks the end of our first segment here on KBC's Lunchtime News. Carry on the conversation both off and online. Of course, we'll be back with more news. Don't go too far.
Thought that Magdalena spends all day in that room of hers and that she's the only one among us who seems to be going crazy?
Your beloved brother-in-law and all of Puebla will find out who you really are.
What are you doing, No, what were you looking for? Magdalena put that there so that you would start to doubt me.
She is a very dangerous woman.
Pindi tunapowasha vifaa vyetu,
tunapata fursa ya kutangamana na wasikilizaji wetu.
Karibu sana thĩinĩ wa tabarĩra ya Rwiga.
Tunapeperusha utangazaji uliobobea katika habari,
ni ũndũ wa macio na mangĩ maingĩ,
burudani,
aha ni harĩa tũkoragwo tũkĩigua nyĩmbo mwaki nyĩmbo hot,
na hamasisho la kiroho. Usiachwe nyuma. Jiunge nasi kwa safari ya kufana katika 99.5 FM. Soro FM.
Have you ever lost something in your life? Property, a loved one, a relationship?
Normal grieving is when we lose something and we don't feel so good, because grieving is emotional reaction to loss.
What is the importance of allowing yourself to grieve?
When you have not accepted what you have lost, it means you have not found any meaning.
How does somebody build that hope once again?
When a person is unable to move forward and is unable to find closure in what they have lost, then that is when we have complicated grief, and it can have a lot of implications on somebody's emotional health.
Can you go make breakfast?
Kwa mama Jabali yako wapi?
Well, she's not feeling okay, so you need to step in for her.
Ukiwacha mfanyakazi kukalia zaidi.
Wewe unajua yeye ndiye alimwaga ile mafuta ilifanya nitreze. What?
Naona kama unataka kuamka mara ya pili kwa stairs, si ndio?
Kama unataka kunimaliza, unimalize, lakini usinivunje mguu. Stop crying.
Who are you talking to?
Mark, wewe ni kauli anguka ukaumia kichwa.
Seeing a therapist doesn't make you crazy.
Mbona nificha huko kama bangi?
Was a ticket.
Watu wanacheza mpira hapo nje.
Jackie, unajua unaanganikiwa fala sana.
Please, just go with the flow, please.
They don't know. And I said they don't know. Oh boy. They see me smile, but they don't know what I feel inside.
My people will be working so hard. Nothing in this world that is ever too far.
Felt something so strong. You were like my lover and my best friend.
I love you. This is for my international love. Oh, and there's nothing I can say or ever do to deserve the love of a woman like you. Well, yeah.
Welcome back and thank you for staying with us. Let's head over to Turana County, where Governor Jeremiah Lomurukai has demanded the immediate arrest and prosecution of a 15-member gang that has been terrorizing locals in Turkana South Sub-County. The governor alleged that the gang was behind the recent attack of a peaceful delegation in Namakate that resulted in the killing of 5 persons. He alleged that the gang has been organizing night meetings with the blessings of an area leader vowing to disrupt public government meetings in the constituency.
Yale mambo yanaendelea Turkana South mpaka ndani ya Lokichar. Unapata yani watu ambao wako na bunduki ya haramu wanatembea mji wa Lokichar mchana, wanaingia kama jana wanaingia IDP, wanatoka wanaenda nyuma huko ya ile summit ya Ardhi Summit about 3 kilometers away. Wanatoka hapo wanakutana na mkubwa wa eneo hilo, wanafanya mkutano jana 15 guns. Mkutano unafanywa jana yote mahali inaitwa Loelim usiku mzima, wakifikiria wale wanakaa nao katika mkutano hawa ni watu wao peke yao.
Thank you for you. Thank you for all you do.
And now let's get down to business. Before we go to our interview portion, let's start with this story where water and energy solutions provider Davies and Shiftlift has partnered with the Rotary District 9212 to implement water and energy projects in the country. The collaboration aims to bolster the capacity of the Rotarians in water, sanitation and hygiene projects by delivering technical talks and ensuring project sustainability.
Davies and Shiftlift Group CEO George Mbugua says the development of sustainable water resources is a critical global priority, expressing commitment to nursing various technologies, particularly in renewable energy, to provide affordable and sustainable solutions to achieve this objective. The firm will provide technical design support, deliver equipment and offer support to ensure the project's long-term success. As per the Memorandum of Understanding, Davies and Shiftlift will assess project proposals submitted by Rotary District 9212 to ascertain their sustainability for collaboration. Moreover, it will identify water and energy projects for potential adoption by Rotary clubs in Kenya. The partners say many previously implemented projects have failed due to poor design and the lack of maintenance. This collaboration aims to ensure the sustainability of projects for the greater benefit and improvement of communities' lives.
Also, farmers have been urged to form cooperatives to help them tap better market opportunities and attract government investments. Speaking in Molo when he officially closed a month-long capacity training for over 500 dairy farmers, Cabinet Secretary for Cooperatives and Micro and Small Enterprise Simon Chelugui has said the government has avenues to assist farmers but lack of proper structures delaying such processes.
Cooperatives offer small agricultural producers opportunities and a wide range of services, including improved access to markets, natural resources, ICT, training, and warehouses. Cooperative CS Simon Chelugui urged residents to undertake all the value chains, including maize, bananas, sweet potatoes, dairy, poultry, and horticulture, to come up with cooperatives.
Our mission today here is to create the linkage between the farmers and government agencies and any other private financial provider who can support, supplement, complement whatever government is doing. So I'm encouraging farmers to reach out, the chairs of those agencies and the CEOs of those agencies.
He added that well-managed cooperatives can address weak market frameworks, shortage of agricultural extension services, and unavailability of certified seeds, and expansion of storage facilities to mitigate post-harvest losses.
There is real need, there is real demand for extension services. Let us invest in cooperative officers. Let us invest in extension officers on livestock, on agriculture, so that farmers can begin to now learn the best practices, benefit from research, benefit from new findings, new varieties, and that way we can actually support our farmers.
Chelugui emphasized the need for farmers to utilize the storage facilities in the National Creameries Cooperative, noting that surplus milk could be processed into powdered milk for export, creating an additional avenue for income generation. It disclosed that his ministry is partnering with research agencies and learning institutions in training farmers through cooperative movements on how to get quality feeds and the right ratio to boost their production, exposing farmers to local and international exchange programs to widen their knowledge scope. Edna Murungi for Lunchtime News.
And in other news, pastoralists in Kambu County have been urged to widen their outlook on livestock rearing from that of cultural lifestyle to a high-yielding venture. Governor Joseph Olelenku says farmers ought to keep dairy animals that have a higher value, adding that the milk produced can greatly boost the nutrition of the residents.
Ilivyo sasa maziwa tunalete kutoka kaunti jirani, kwa sababu kaunti hizo zinabadilisha mifumo ya ufugaji yao. Ng'ombe wachache, mara mingi ng'ombe moja, ng'ombe mbili, alafu wanahakikisha hawategemei mvua kupata lishe za mifugo. Nataka wanakajado tujirudie kwa maneno ya maziwa, kwa sababu ni rahisi kufikia lengo letu ya kuwa na ng'ombe 1-2 kwa kila familia, ili kwanza afya yetu na ya watoto yetu ikuwe bora, lakini pia itatusaidia kiuchumi.
And now to our interview portion, we're talking about entrepreneurship. And this afternoon, we're joined by none other than Balkis Chepkwony, the CEO of Fleets Simplify, which is a company that utilizes technology to manage fleets of vehicles on behalf of individuals and organizations. Thank you so much, Balkis, for joining us this afternoon, and welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Maybe we can start on that note, where this is among the sectors where they're deemed to be male-dominated. How did you navigate through this murky waters, and now you're a chief executive officer?
Thank you. Thank you for that question. So maybe to just shed light on what Fleet Simplify does ahead of answering that question.
Okay.
So Fleet Simplify is a platform that monetizes vehicles, starting with the ride-hailing market. So what we do, we connect gig drivers with vehicles they can drive and earn a decent income, while on the other hand, we enable the vehicle owners to make an extra income out of their vehicles hassle-free. So we're building a marketplace where you as a vehicle owner, you're able to earn good sustainable revenues from your car, and the drivers are also able to, drive on these platforms and earn, and we create employment for them through that. Yeah. So in terms of the male-dominated sector, clearly when I joined this business, that wasn't at the back of the mind, and probably that was one of the factors that helped me, push forward because I was not thinking that this is a male-dominated sector. How am I going to navigate it? So this was a personal problem, for me. I had a vehicle, I was in a 9-to-5 job, and I needed to solve a problem. And this is a problem that I saw affecting many people, regardless of gender. So I went forth to, solve this problem without really thinking about the gender effect. However, in my journey, I have learned to loop in, male supporters. So my co-founders are male. I have 2 male co-founders. Quite a good number of my team are also male. So we create a good balance that is able to push our solution forward.
Going to the unemployment crisis that your company is playing a good part in it by solving it somehow. What else, aside from the entrepreneurial sector, do you think now Kenya should be shifting, you've just said, from the employment sector all the way to the informal sector? Are the environment, would you say, conducive for especially people who are hired?
Okay, that's a good question. I strongly believe that there's a lot of opportunity beyond employment. And you can see that for us, we've tapped into the gig market.
Yes.
There are many people who are unemployed out there, but they have the skills and they would just need, empowerment, a little empowerment for them to tap into jobs that they could already work in without really having to go into employment. So in our case, we're empowering gig drivers who are not employed by anybody. They're also not our employees, but we give them access to tools and training to empower them and enable them to be successful as gig drivers.
And of course, with the technological advancements of this era, we've seen President William Ruto championing for technological advancement and urging the youth to tap into that particular sector, which will create what it has done right now, jobs at the end of the day. Are the policies and frameworks that are in place right now favoring the entrepreneurial sector?
Okay, the policies are in place. I would say they need to, there needs to be an acceleration in policy amendment and policy reviews to enable, especially the highly regulated sectors like financial and healthcare, to enable more entrepreneurs to, accelerate their solutions and empower more people in the country.
And technological-driven firms such as yours oftenly face challenges. For example, cybersecurity. Have you ensured your technological side of it all is okay when it comes to cybersecurity, which has been a problem in the past?
Yes, I totally agree that these challenges face, and particularly face technology-driven companies.
Yes.
And being a startup, you're actually limited in terms of resources, in terms of talent. Like right now, there's a talent shift. Many of our young people are moving, to greener pastures in, countries in the first world.
Yes.
We also have, we're fighting for tech talent between, startups and tech giants, like Microsoft, Google, who already established, their head offices here for Africa here in Kenya. So So some of these challenges actually make it a little bit constraining for startups to, put all these measures in place. However, as startups, we also know how to navigate these waters. So we figure out how to, protect the data of our users right from the scratch. We figure out how to, put in security measures. And maybe in addition to that, I would also like to mention that there are various programs, that support startups in ensuring that these security measures are actually in place. So, for example, we participated in a Google Black Founders Fund Africa, which is a program that is led by Google. That they actually gave us a lot of immense technical support to enable us have all these processes in place.
And of course, you just talked about something which is key. Brain drain. We've seen most of our brilliant young men and women who are brilliant going to this particular Silicon Valley in the United States. How can we make our own firms such as yours attractive so that the youth can join at the end of the day?
That's a good question. So I think what the youth are looking for really beyond, financial reward is actually a place where they feel valued, a place where their opinion is taken. And I think the youth today thrive in startup environments where we're actually really open, we discuss, they're part of the decision makers, their opinion matters. So I believe that as startups come up with, as more startups emerge and create these environments, we should be able to retain more talent. And then in addition to that, startups also have to have ESOP plans in place, that is the equity stock options. So allow the young people to own a stake in your company. It could be as small as 0.5%, but when somebody is part of your vision, then you don't get to lose them.
And with the market evolving every day, there are challenges to that. How is your company ensuring some of your systems and technological advancement address those key challenges?
Okay, so we keep abreast with technology. We're a startup, so it is important for us to stay ahead. We have seen the AI revolution, and it's really important as a startup. They say that if your business is not powered by AI at this age, you're going to be crushed by a business that is powered by AI. So it is very important that technology startups stay abreast with technology. You have to, adopt and be very agile and adopt the new technologies coming in to keep your startup, ahead of the curve.
And of course, with that in mind, what are the key areas your company and others in the sector and key stakeholders are focusing on, especially right now?
Okay, so for us right now, particularly in the transport, we're currently looking at sustainable mobility. So this has been, I think, as Kenya is leading the transition towards sustainable mobility practices. So you have seen the drive with the EVs, the two-wheelers coming in, battery technology. So for us, this is something that is key for us. We're currently powering an ICE fleet, that means the normal vehicles, but part of our strategy for 2024 Q1 is actually to roll out an EV fleet. So this is one of the key areas that we're currently focusing to enable us to be part of the players that are diminishing the carbon footprints.
And of course, with that, given that the government also is championing for green economy, we've seen even electrical cars. Down the years, will we be seeing Kenya hosting cars like Tesla in the coming days?
I strongly believe so. We have a lot of, there is talent in the country, and I think we have seen already, as I said, that Kenya is actually leading, in the transition for sustainable mobility. We have startups that are already, doing revolutionary battery switching. There we see that is for the two-wheelers, motorbikes as well as bikes. So what we see in the future is that we're actually going to be able to tap into the existing resources. We have, I believe, over 80% renewable sources of energy. So with the startups that are coming up, I strongly see that we're going to be able to come up with our own EVs that suit our market and not just rely on bringing EVs from the other countries.
With the government led by President William Ruto, you've seen most of the policies and regulations they have been putting in place is to ensure the green economy as well as create more jobs is realized. Back from the ACS 2023, we even saw electrical cars being marshaled across the country, especially here in the capital. How has your company morphed to ensure that you change with those demands by the current regime?
Okay, so for our company, as I mentioned before, we're currently focusing on rolling out EV fleets.
Okay.
So this is going to enable us to, rent out these EVs to drivers, which means they're actually going to get, there's potential for more earning when you're driving an EV. That's because the EVs have less maintenance costs and also, they're not using fuel, so not really fuel efficient, but less cost in terms of their mobility.
Okay.
So with our focus on EV, we're looking at, want to take advantage of the tax incentives that the government of today has put in place, tax incentives to enable us capitalize on the policies that are there now.
Key stakeholders such as you, have you gone to, especially these institutions, have they addressed the issue of technological advancement, and especially in the transport sector, given that we're entering into that particular era? Is our curriculum addressing those issues, and of course creating somebody to ensure that when they leave school, at least they can come and work in your company?
I believe so, yes. Because I have seen there are a number of startups that are already working with students directly in the EV space, where it may not be significantly significantly inclusive of this in their curriculum. However, there are steps being made towards making this part of their curriculum. And so particularly in the engineering sector, we have certain, I think, the technical university and amongst others who are already, incorporating some of this engineering in their courses. Right.
In any sector, there are new emerging trends that you need to keep up with. Aside from technology, what are these emerging trends you're trying to at least accommodate so that you can survive with the times?
I think the biggest emerging trend right now is AI, and it is important for every startup to utilize AI. For us, we have incorporated AI in different ways. So one way that we're using AI currently is for preventive maintenance of our fleet of vehicles. So through the data that we're able to collect on the vehicle, when the driver's actually driving the vehicles, we're able to pick certain aspects about the vehicle and is able to inform us about any maintenance issues that will be coming up. So that is one area in which we use AI. We also use AI in terms of driver screening and behavior management. So when drivers are coming on board, we have a robust screening process, which we've integrated AI, and to also monitor their behavior while they're on the road.
And of course, with this sector, you're in this position as the Chief Executive Officer. What have you done for other women in this sector in terms of mentoring?
Yes. So I'm open actually to mentoring young women, and I work with women across different programs. So we have programs where we support women who are participating in that program. So by giving them the tools they need, sharing with them the experiences that we've gone through, networking with them with investors or people that they need to to be engaging with. Could be partners, could be financial partners. So this is what I've been doing for female founders on the continent actually. But currently I think I would like to say that I'm actually opening up my, as a personal mentor to women. So women can actually reach out to me directly and ask me for mentorship that they need in whichever area.
And of course, given that you're running this particular company, you're dealing with major companies like Uber, for example, the challenges of maintenance cost. How is that working?
Yeah, so we're dealing with big companies, but what I would say is that you'll be surprised that actually big companies need services from, even the small players in the market. So it's not about how, the size of your company, but it's about the value that you actually offer. So we've positioned ourselves as this key player in matching drivers with vehicles, which is a key requirement for the ride-hailing platforms. In fact, one of the unicorn ride-hailing platforms, when they raised money, they mentioned that the biggest challenge that they had to enable them scale across the continent is actually access to vehicles for their drivers. So it is the value that we offer that enables us to play in the market with big players.
And of course, with this particular company, not so many Kenyans, of course, know you. In terms of corporate social responsibility, what are some of the sensitization programs you have undertaken? Okay,
so we currently have a graduate trainee program where we are taking in graduates from universities who have completed their studies to come and, have their startup experience as well and, hone their skills, have experience, the initial experience that they need. And then we're able to, improve on what they already know and enable them, and eventually we look at absorbing them, but also just launching them into the rest of the market.
And of course, given that we're winding up, you can tell us what are certain proposals. I know you touched a little bit earlier on, but what are these policy proposals you're proposing, especially key industry players such as yourself, to the government, given that they are watching you right now? What are those key areas they should be focusing on so that they can make the environment conducive for operators such as yourself?
Okay, the key proposal that I would have is basically around tax incentives for EVs, because we're all interested in going into the EV market, but what we realize is that the vehicles that we bring into the country, we are used to bringing, used vehicles that are, coming from other markets. So the difference between those cars and the EVs is that there are no used EVs, so we have to bring in new EVs. Those EVs are not affordable for our market. So what we would really appreciate is if the tax incentives were significant enough to enable us compete with the used vehicles that we currently import.
Thank you so much. That is Balkis Chepkwony, the CEO of Fleet Simplify, and we wish you all the best and thank you for making time for us this afternoon. And of course, we're continuing with our stories here in terms of business, where farmers in the counties of Narok, Kajiado and Taita Taveta have been trained to the best fodder production practices under the integrated and climate smart innovations for agro-pastoralist economies and landscape project. Farmers have also been trained on how to produce fodder seeds. We'll bring you that story on the other side of the break. Don't go too far. Welcome back and thank you for staying with us. To our initial story, where farmers in the counties of Narok, Kajiado and Taita Taveta have been trained on the best fodder production practices under the integrated and climate smart innovations for agro-pastoralist economies and landscape project. Farmers have also been trained on how to produce fodder seeds.
Fodder shortage in Kenya and the Greater Horn of Africa region has led to the loss of
We do apologize for that technical glitch, but let's get sporty now. Kevin Yen led from the first round to the last to claim the 2023 Royal Junior Stroke Play Championship title at the Royal Golf Club in Nairobi. Now, Kanana Muthoni finished second on a 12 over par 228, while Mwathi Gideru completed the podium positions.
Anyen had one stroke lead on day one after shooting 74 to lead by one stroke over three other junior golfers. It was a tight at the top after the first round, with Kanana Muthomi, Mwanthi Gisheru, Haudri Gashora and Junaid Manji tied for second on 75. The second round was not as close as the junior golfers were now separated in the top 10 positions. Kevin Anyen was again the best player of the day with a score of 7, 2 shots better than Kanana Muthomi. Anyen led by 3 shots over Muthomi, with Mwanthi Gisheru right behind her by only 1 stroke. Aundri Gashore on 155 points was not so far off going into the last round. It was a tight fight at the top, with Kanana at 1 point closing the gap to 1 stroke. In the end, they both shot 78 as Anyen finished at the top with a score of 9 over par 225.
For me, it means a lot because I've been trying to win a lot. I've been losing 3rd place, 4th place. At least I've gotten my first win. I'm so happy. Yeah.
Kanana finished 2nd on 12 over par 228.
Putting was, I guess, okay, but then it started becoming worse somehow. Like long putts, I was 3-putting. Like I would just leave them far, come back, my second putt I would be too aggressive.
Mwanthi Gisheru finished 3rd, but he could have done much better had he not changed his style of play. Tanish Gutha finished with 18 over to settle for 4th position, overall tied with Junaid Maji.
Now it gives me pleasure to read this next story where Manchester United's season of misery plunged even further as they exited the Champions League at the group stage after a 1-0 loss to Bayern Munich at Old Trafford last night. Meanwhile, a much-changed Arsenal side were held to a draw by PSV in their final match of the Champions League group stage, but they qualified.
Since that,
Erik ten Hag's side Manchester United needed to beat the Bundesliga champions and hope that there was no winner one of their 6 group games in the competition and defeated